What up, party people? Welcome to the Fountain Group Ride, also known as the 6 p.m. Seward Park Crit. So as usual, when I don't know what to do, I just go to the front. And I was expecting to get caught on the climb right here, but that didn't happen. So halfway through the second lap, I get caught finally. So on the right, somebody attacks. The Saudi rider on the pink bike starts to follow him. So I try to get on Audi's wheel. But the guy who started the attack, something happened to his bike because he ends up pulling off the course. So he gets caught real quick, and now the guy is just by himself now. So at this part, I'm realizing I should get off the front. I try to let a few people pass me on the climb, but I'm doing something wrong because I just get swarmed. But thankfully, Oliver on the left kind of takes over control of the race. So although I ended up going further back than I wanted to, tonight there's way less people, I think only about 40, and that makes it a lot easier to move up. Normally at this part of the course, it bunches up, and there's no room to maneuver around anyone. But tonight there's just the right amount of people, where there's still some room on the right, where I could take that speed from the descent, not only move back up to the front, but carry enough momentum to turn it into a bit of an attack. So I've been caught here. I go back a few wheels to recover, and then I find myself in between Oliver and Scout, which was our plan. We wanted to stick together towards the front of the race, and we're doing it right now. So although I wanted to recover, I tried to take advantage of our positioning. The Scout's motivated and wants to chase this breakaway rider. I probably should have told him to ease it back, because I'm not able to stay on his wheel. But luckily he turns around, sees that he's gapped me, and waits for me to catch back up. And Scout does a counterattack as soon as we catch this solo breakaway. Should have been ready for it, but I wasn't. Oliver lets us know that we have a little bit of a gap, so we try to turn this into a three-person break.
Alright, let's go, Scout. Come on, buddy, watch.
But the rest of the field isn't going to let that happen, so they follow Oliver and prevent us from getting away. And normally I would have just ended the attempt and gone back, but I look over my shoulder and I could just see a wave of people that I don't really want to get caught in and get boxed in. And this is the position I want to be in to recover, but as we get to the false flat of the first part of the climb, I end up losing a bunch of wheels. This is probably the weakest part of the course for me. I don't know what it is, but I just end up getting swarmed right here whenever I'm not on the front. Alright, so I've been at the back of the field for a few laps, recovering, and I'm getting just a little too comfortable back there. It's not really bunching up like it is normally, so I'm not feeling too boxed in, but I'm not at the front with the rest of the team, so we're not able to implement our plan. So in this section, I'm able to maintain my speed, and this is a great opportunity to just put in a little bit of an effort to pass 10 more people and get back up to the front. But instead, I just kind of freewheel for a bit and just hold my position rather than advance. So I'm getting a little more comfortable moving up before the hairpin now. And normally I'd be trying to get in line right about here. But I see a gap right behind that yellow and orange bike that I want. So I do a bit of an effort just past Morgan to get in that person's wheel. So during the exit of the hairpin, kind of let this front group get away. Try not to go into the red, and I'm just counting on the fact that when we get to the bottom of the hill, I'll be able to catch back up to them. And not only do I catch back up to them, but again, I'm carrying some speed and able to move all the way up to the front again. Right with Scout and Oliver. So there's a two-person break ahead, but I see Taco Times coming on the right with Audi, so I'm gonna try to let them chase. And out he goes, and I should have been quicker getting on his wheel. So I'm able to get within sight of the break, but we need someone else. Oliver and I are pretty exhausted, so I try to go back just a few wheels. But again, it's on this section of the course where I just get swarmed. Find myself stuck at the back. So again, I hang out for a while back here. This is my first time really tail gunning, and I'm just getting a little overconfident with just being able to catch everyone at the bottom of the hill, where I'm not really sprinting at all out of the corner. I let a big gap form, and it's pretty risky. If the field just decided to do an attack right here, I might have been dropped. But this risky maneuver does get my heart rate below 170, so it gives me a chance to actually recover. So on this lap, my move of carrying speed and then descent doesn't quite work out because it bunches up, and this is usually what happens at Seward. But luckily the rest of the field is going slow right now, so even though I had to grab some brake, I'm still going faster, and I'm able to join this little attack, and I want to turn this into a break. And I'm expecting this Audi guy to slot in, but he doesn't, so I put in a dig just to close that gap, and just as I get out of the saddle, he decides he wants to be in front, and kind of prevents the break from forming. So I get swarmed here again, find myself at the back, and end up tail gunning for a few laps, probably a little bit longer than I should have. So Galen's probably a little worried about me now, thinking I'm drifting too far back, so he tells me to follow him. And honestly, he's right. It's being a bit too risky, and he kind of reminds me I should be at the front. So because I was hanging out the back so long, I let a break get away, and right now there are 40 seconds ahead. So Scout's giving me a little breakdown about who's in it, so I can find out who could help chase. So there's a couple Apex riders in front of me, and I want to find out if they want to help.
Hey Apex, do you have anyone in the break? Apex, do you have anyone up there? Alright. good. I'm up for a chase. Yeah, man. We want to get in front of this green train.
So as usual, Fountain's at the front, and I know we have to get around them for this chase to work. Luckily, Morgan leaves a bit of a gap, and I take advantage of it.
Thanks.
So this Apex rider joins us at the front, and we initiate an actual chase. And just as Oliver and I get tired from the chase, Apex comes by again and motivates us to keep going. So even though I got swarmed, we've knocked 30 seconds off of that gap, just with 3 people and a couple laps. But I'm feeling pretty tired now. It looks like the field's going fast enough to continue the chase, where I could rest up in the back. So Mario does a great attack that I see coming, but I see he's going so fast, I don't really even bother. But this was perfectly timed. And now we're in the usual situation of Fountain and a break, with the rest of their team up front controlling the field. The scout moves up on the right and starts a chase. So as that break is about to get caught, this Fountain rider on the red bike launches an attack in the same spot as Mario, which is perfect, forcing us to chase again. And I couldn't stay on her wheel. I tried, but she was going too fast. But she's doing one of the things I really like to do, which is when your own teammate in a break is about to get caught, you initiate a counterattack yourself. So right here, I should have done a better job of actually organizing a chase effort like I did before with Apex. I should have recruited this Audi guy, Apex again, to make an organized chase effort. But instead, we kind of just do individual attacks, which just makes it a more surgy effort, rather than just nice, smooth pulls. Alright, so the break has been caught. We're all together now. 2 laps to go. So now that there isn't a break, I prepare for the bunch sprint. I try to recover by taking it easy out of the hairpin, holding my speed after the descent, and to move up on the right. Last lap, and at the hairpin turn, I hear somebody say 5 seconds.
Oh, there's a break? Yeah. I thought we called it. Sorry about that.
So we have 1 lap to go. I'm midfield, and I don't have anything left to get to the front, chase, and contest the finish. So I'm kind of thinking the race is pretty much over right now. And you'll see Fountain riders start sitting up, and that just kind of confirms my suspicion that there was a break full of Fountain, and they've taken the win. But it turns out there wasn't really a break. It was just a lack of organization at the front. Everyone was kind of stretched out. And if I actually put in an effort, I probably could have gotten in front of this group of people. But I'm thinking right now we're 15th or 20th place, and really ended up finishing 10th. Alright, so some things I learned from this race. I'm a little more comfortable now going this direction, being able to move up in the field, again, as long as there isn't more than 60 people racing. Also got practice actually chasing breaks down, and using other teams to help do that. And really all it did was take me asking Apex if they wanted to chase, and within 2 laps we caught a 40-second break. And towards the end of the race, when Fountain started launching attack after attack, and I was up there by myself, I should have just asked other teams if they wanted to chase again, and just organize the chase effort rather than just hope it just develops naturally. And the other thing I learned is don't give up at the end. Fight for every position.